All pirates, yes, they rob.
Welcome to Weed Wednesdays, produced by International Broadcast Media, better known as IBM.TV. I'm your host, Jeff Eichen, human rights advocate and social activist, fighting for government deregulation of weed and the release of all nonviolent criminals incarcerated for possession of marijuana, moving violations, parking tickets, IRS debt, etc. Here on WEEDsday, we keep the public informed about all things weed related, including festivals and legislation surrounding regulating the growth of hemp. Today, my guests are
There's something happening here. There's something happening here.
So this is Jeff, and I'm with Landon and his mom, and they're going to tell you a little bit about the Cannamoms and cannabis. Do you like cannabis?
Yes.
And has it helped you?
Yes.
And what is your story? What happened before you had cannabis?
Cancer tamed and it made me sick.
And so what has marijuana and cannabis done for you?
It helped me grow my hair back and it helped me feel better.
You're the best, man. You're a hero. And so are you still using cannabis is it your favorite healing power?
It is.
And do you have it in juice?
Yeah.
Or do you eat it? Do you have food for him or juice?
Yeah, all of it.
I eat organic food.
You eat organic food? Yeah, that's true.
And Mom, tell them about my story.
Sure. Hi, this is Sierra Riddle, and Landon and I are here in Seattle to help spread Team Landon's message and the Cannamom message of, treating our terminally ill children with cannabis over narcotics and pharmaceuticals that, delay them and put them in a fog and, regress our children's development while they are fighting these terminal illnesses. And, we're happy to run into you guys again. And that was over a year ago at Denver 420. And, as you can see, Landon's still doing really amazing. He's still cancer free. And, it's just been such an incredible journey for all of us really to be on. Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
What do you want to say?
I want to say Tanner sucks.
No, don't say that.
Cannabis sucks cancer. Right, Mom?
Yes.
Okay, say it.
Cannabis sucks cancer.
Yeah, it sure does stop cancer.
Well, watch the...
Okay, I got your mic. Oh, thank you. Okay. So your name is Landon?
Yes.
So Landon just reached the camera and focused on my face, and that's very nice. So he's learning how to be a cameraman. Yeah, you're a little man now. You're doing great. So let me go push it on your face here. Yeah, there we go. Got it. How'd that feel?
How about her milk?
I've run across every day more and more parents who have heard the Cannabis message, who have heard the Team Landon message, and they're treating their children now everything from cancer to epilepsy, autism, cerebral palsy, Crohn's and colitis types issues. I mean, it's really been amazing for a lot of our children.
Is the news of the week, and Jeff Sessions lost to Timothy Tuber, and whatever his name is at the end there. We love you, Timothy, and so nobody can deny an 8-year-old. I mean, we're not lying. Today's dedication is to the truth, for all of us speaking our truth about what we believe in and our passion. And I believe that our medicine that we give to the planet, now that we're global with IBM.TV, and thank you so much, Kimberly Calhoun and your team and the background of IBM.TV, getting us global. We're in Portugal, everybody. We're in Uruguay, and we want to learn from every inch of the pandemic that is keeping marijuana still illegal. I mean, yeah, nobody, really gets angry on marijuana, but alcohol. So that's my statement for today. I'm not going to even read all of this here, but today's show is dedicated to my, it says here, good morning, weed whackers and Cannabis 420 nurses. Our lineup today looks packed. We have Janet Lee to talk about the National Day of Freedom, and Chris Conrad, who is not here yet. He's out for a smoke break. To tell us about the updates and truth of Prop 64 in California, the producers from the Marijuana Show, and it should be a great show again. Honored to co-host with Amy Povah, a moment of silence for all that have fallen, my dear brother Brian Toss. And we come back now and we give thanks that we're here to be able to dedicate our show today to Michael Thompson, who is our prisoner in jail for 27 years. And guess what? Guess what, everybody? The secret is Michael Thompson was Aretha Franklin's booking agent. And he said he's going to help me with my tour because I just dropped a 420 album with Sensi Magazine, and that you'll all get soon. We're not stopping. But Michael Thompson worked with Aretha Franklin, and he's a sweetheart. He doesn't belong in jail anymore. So all of our COVID, he's in the hospital for COVID right now. So don't send him back to prison, mother truckers. And be politically correct online here, everybody. And here we go. Amy, take it away.
Hi, thank you, Jack. Always enjoy doing your show, and I think we have a wonderful lineup. Now, are you going to play the video of Pharrell Scott?
When you're ready, I'll have Nugent do it. He's queued up to push all of our videos. We got one for Karen and Wendy. And
we can wait a little bit,
okay,
because just played that video. That was amazing about Landon. Thank you. What a brave little boy he is. And certainly we need to get cannabis out of Schedule 1. It's insane, because the criteria to be a Schedule 1 drug is that there's no medicinal properties. So the government is committing fraud every single day that it remains in Schedule 1. But we have such a wonderful lineup. Let's go ahead and get started.
Amy, can I ask you one question for the new people that are here that have not met you yet? Are you a POW, a pot POW?
No, I served 9 years on a 24-year sentence for MDMA, otherwise known as ecstasy. And I never sold, I never distributed, but when my estranged husband, who was a Stanford Law School graduate, got arrested in Germany and was manufacturing it, unbeknownst to me, I knew he could get ecstasy, and I did ecstasy many times. Not going to deny it. I think it has a lot of medicinal properties as well, including PTSD, and it's great for marriage counseling, but that's another topic. He got arrested, and we were still friends, and I went to visit him, and he asked me to collect money. He thought he would get bail. He didn't, but when I collected money, it was not all kosher, and that triggered the conspiracy law. If you do one thing inside what they now call these conspiracy cases, you're held responsible for everything that all the co-conspirators did. So he cooperated, snitched out everybody, including me, and he called me for help, and then turned on me to help himself. So,
And that was your hubby?
yeah, he was my ex, but the government could have put a gun to my head. They busted into my home in Los Angeles. They told me that I had to cooperate with them. They knew I had visited him, and they said, he's the bad guy. We know you're not. They conceded all of that. But they wanted me to wear a wire on his associates, well, otherwise known as co-conspirators. And I was like, are you crazy?
Isn't life imitating Hollywood, the movies? I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds like a freaking, a Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, and it took them 2 years to indict me. They harassed my friends. They followed me. They seized my car, not because it was purchased with illegal drug proceeds, but because they said confidential informant number 4, whoever that was, said that they had a conversation about ecstasy with my husband like at some point in time, and that it was used to facilitate. So they can seize your property even if you just have a meeting or conversation about illicit drugs. But that was in the late 80s when everything was crazy. So I don't want to take up all our time, but that's how I got into this. President Clinton granted my clemency, commuted my sentence. So July 7th, 2000, I walked out of prison. I still had another 12 years to go, and that's why I started the Can Do Foundation. Can Do stands for Clemency for All Nonviolent Drug Offenders. And for 20 years, I've been advocating clemency for other people. I went to the Obama White House 3 times. I also am working with this administration. I work with whoever's in the Oval Office because I keep my focus on the prisoners and bringing prisoners home. And so we've got a wonderful lineup, and I would love to introduce Janet Lee, who is organizing. It's a massive endeavor for the first National Day of Freedom and Justice, which is going to be nationwide, and I think 4 other countries also are on board. And Janet has her own story because nearly everybody who's in this space is in this space because they were impacted. They have some personal experience with the mass incarceration. So, Janet, will you unmute yourself? And we have a picture of Janet up because unfortunately she fell and she has a black eye and she didn't want people to see her with a black eye. But Janet, why don't you explain what it is that you have scheduled for August 22nd and how you got involved in this?
Okay, basically August the 22nd is a day that we're going to meet all over the United States and incorporate 4 other countries as well. We are staggering our time so that we can do this at the same time, on the same day, to demand the media attention that this cause deserves. And we've been very, very lucky with so many people stepping up. We actually have some famous people, a rapper, a movie star, that I'll disclose their information later on the locations where they'll be. But we will also be doing a unified ringing of the bells. That's going to stand for freedom and justice for all our incarcerated. And the way this came about is I actually had someone who Amy is working on his clemency, Tracy Fagan, who is in federal prison on a ghost drug charge. The conspiracy thing is just completely out of control. He's serving a life sentence while the co-defendants who were actually involved in things that were going on are already free, and he's on his 13th year. He asked me to if I could spearhead this event because it's his goal to help everybody that is entrapped in the system, and for a plant or a an all natural substance that can be used to actually treat many conditions. And so of course, it was right up my alley. I said, sure, we'll do this. And we have. The support has been amazing.
And Janet, are you going to DC? And then I think all the different states have probably somewhere where people will be gathering. You want to share how other people can participate and get involved?
Does this have anything to do with the
Sure,
bus?
yeah, we do have-
with the bus, you guys, with the marijuana bus?
No.
Okay.
That's in October, I think.
Yes. Okay. Carry on, Janet.
Okay, yeah, we do have events in almost every state. We have 3 states that we're working on right now that are pretty promising. We'll get them to. Some states we have as many as 20 events in that state. And my team, CPR, and I will be in Washington, D.C. We are planning to make a direct appeal to the president as well as the governors of every state. Our goal is mass decarceration. And so we're making an appeal to grant more clemencies that have ever been granted. It's been 64 years when the largest amount of clemencies happened. I think it was back when people went AWOL. Right. So yeah, we are making that direct appeal. We also have a proclamation that we are submitting to the White House that Mark Osler has worked on. And I believe you had some say in this too, Amy, I'm not sure, but that is to make a national holiday, the 4th Saturday of every August, to be a national day for freedom and justice reform. So if anyone's interested in hosting an event or attending an event, we do have a Facebook page that is the National Day of Freedom and Justice. We also have a website, which is freedomandjustice.info, or I can be reached by phone, and that's call or text 540-958-1847. We encourage everyone to get involved. If there's not an event local to you and you want to host one, we'll help you with that.
And did you say that there were 4 other countries other than the United States that are participating? And since this is airing in Portugal, if anybody would like to participate, they should reach out to you as well.
Absolutely, yeah. We have 4 other states who are going to be participating in this event via Zoom. And so we're welcome, 4 other countries. We welcome anyone who wants to participate. Just get in touch with me and we can make it happen.
Thank you, Janet. And very briefly, can you just explain how mass incarceration touched your life?
Basically, my life has been touched by this because my son at 12 years old, 24 years ago, 10 years old, he actually started the involvement with the criminal justice system. But at the age of 12, he actually got sent to a juvenile prison. The reason he was sent to the juvenile prison is because he told his teacher he was going to kick his ass. So he was charged with assault or communicating a threat for assault against a government official.
Wait, at 10 years old?
Now, at 12 years old.
At 12? What?
Yeah.
What?
At 12 is when he was.
Come on, planet
Yeah, it
Earth.
was
Come
12 years
on,
old,
come
isn't it?
on, humans. Get it together.
Right. Right. Yeah. It was a really big deal because in the state of North Carolina at the time, which is where we were, you can be considered delinquent as early as age 6. So therefore, anybody 6 or older can be sent to a juvenile prison. Now, the juvenile prisons hold people up to the age of 21, and they have a level system. It's level A, B, or C. Being sent to a juvenile facility in North Carolina, you are automatically sentenced to minimum your 18th birthday. That's level A. Level B is 19. Level C is 21. And so my son at 12 years old was sent to prison till his 18th birthday. And while he was there, some very, very bad things happened. And so that's how I got involved.
I'm so sorry, Janet, but thank you for sharing. I don't think people understand that there's not very much between you and a prison cell, no matter how old you are or a wonderful person you are. So thank you for your devotion, all the effort that you're putting into helping raise awareness and also to help in mass incarceration. That's a wonderful thing you're doing.
Thank you.
Amazing. I told everybody we're going to have some tearjerkers today. The emotional aspect of the families is why I'm raising money for my second movie. Most of you know that I've done Lifers Madness with Tommy Chong and Baby Landon and The Leapers, and I just get testimonials, everybody, about why prohibition needs to end, and we need to legalize it globally, not just for the financial aspects, but the medicine, the paper, fiber, fuel, medicine, and food, and plastic, and fuel, and everything that the beautiful plant, makes. We just need to end this whole thing. And if I put my hemp suit on, which is right behind us, that I make in Vietnam twice a year, if I put that hemp suit on, I want to go into the legislation. I want to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. Gay marriage got it. So if we can follow suit with them, let's go to the Supreme Court and just end all of this. It doesn't mean our shows can stop working or the marijuana show stops going. We keep going, but we make it legal, and we globally, and all of our prisoners come home. And then guess what? The rainbow retirement homes can happen, where we have CBD allowed without smuggling it in to your elders. So when I get elder, I'm 62, and I want a rainbow retirement home. And so I can have pot in the retirement home as food, as medicine. We're not going to have Bitsy on today, but she cooks incredible. She's our drag chef, and she cooks infused pesto and infused meals and everything. And Bitsy is fantastic. So we'll have her on back next week. But we're going to, Amy, do you want to show your video now?
No, let's have Karen and Wendy come on.
Okay.
And, if we have time, we'll show the video,
Okay.
but we've got a lot of guests, and we can always do it next week. So
Okay.
let's move on to Karen and Wendy. Can't wait to hear their message. They're two amazing women.
We're really, really excited to have the Marijuana Show ladies on. Do you remember where we met?
Yeah, Hempapalooza.
Hempapalooza.
Hey, well, it's really blessing. Tell us which one is Karen and which one is Wendy.
I'm Wendy. That's Karen.
Redhead Karen, blondie Wendy.
Hey, we're so blessed to have all the Canna ladies on, Canna mommies, and ex-POWs. So welcome to our world, ladies. We're going to collaborate for the rest of life now that you know what we do. It's important that we all help to end the prohibition. And it's not all about Hollywood, but we love what you do. So tell us a little bit about what you do, or would you like us to roll your 2-minute intro?
I'd love to just start talking because
Yeah, come on in.
About the show.
Come on in.
Yeah, the intro is about the show, but we actually did a film called Legalize It, and we did focus on the prison system and the injustice about it. And it's a 30-minute film. We gave you a sizzle reel for the show, which is more of a Shark Tank for cannabis. And while we're trying to help entrepreneurs, get a blueprint for success, our heart is in trying to help people get out of prison for a plant. It's ridiculous. That's why we did Legalize It, the other show.
And Legalize It, so we went to 30 states.
30 states.
And we were in conversation with people who, judges who put people away for years and years who got cancer.
You mean
For
you
instance,
got to interview judges that put people away? That's
Yeah, one
fantastic.
in particular.
Ooh, I want that
One-
spot. Yeah.
Yeah, so one guy in particular in Florida came up after seeing a film, and he was crying, and he just said, "I've done the most terrible things in the world. I've put people away for a plant, and now my whole world is helping get them out." And I go and I talk to judges. I don't know the guy's name. Like, that's how ridiculous that was. I should put his name
We were
down.
bombarded by people after showing the film,
But-
and if we had a little pencil and paper,
Yeah.
we, but the
Or
point
my
is,
phone, but
the point is we need to get this film to you guys because it's exactly what we're all trying to do. And we did feature a lot of Cannabis on the show.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have a film festival from Weed Wednesdays, and we'll do 1 week out of the month where we'll show a film.
That's great.
That's awesome.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
It was life changing. It was really cool to see him. He got cancer, and so when he got cancer, he realized the power of the plant, and then now his whole life is devoted to redeem himself. So similar to what Kamala is saying now is, I screwed up. I should have never done that. That's terrible. How do we change all the stuff that I did? And whether it's true or not, that part I don't know. But I'm just reading right here that she has introduced bills with Cory Booker, for instance, the Marijuana Justice Act. So, if people make mistakes, that one's a bad one. I pray that she's, that she'll realize and make it, she's got to teach Biden first.
Right. Or roll one up.
Yeah, exactly.
I do also want to add that on season 2 of our show, we had a mom and her son come on, and the husband could not come in because he was in jail, in prison, and for possession. And the mom and one of the younger kids was held at gunpoint. They pulled her out of the car by her hair. All the kids were, and she told the story on season 2 of our show. So if you do watch our show on Amazon Prime, this would be, I think, season 2, episode 1 or 2. But it's with Chris Martin. Chris Martin's the name of the man, and he's now out of prison. But it was a really, really difficult time for his son, who had to take over his company with his mom while he was in prison.
And what's the name of your show?
The Marijuana Show. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And on Amazon Prime, you just go The Marijuana Show, and there it is.
And that's the Shark Tank of the cannabis industry.
Yeah, and then we asked people why they were in the industry, and everybody's why did really make you cry. And it was about somebody in their family having cancer, or them in prison, or somebody they knew, or something gripped people where they were like, I want to make this happen. And that's when we said, okay, we'll help you find investment.
Here's the green smoothie idea.
Nice.
That's
pretty green. We've been doing that with our boy plants.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's from my garden this morning, and I've been feeding my plants, and I got my legal number, my green card, and everybody out there in Weed Wednesday land, just go around and talk about it. Talk about gay marriage winning, and visualize marijuana winning, and going all the way to the Supreme Court. It's not out of the bag. We have so many entrepreneurs that have so much deep money in their pockets that could get us there, because everyone tells me that I'm not going to the Supreme Court. It's too expensive, Jeffrey. So let's just make it happen. If gay marriage got it, and gay marriage, they got in the office. They just went to the Supreme Court a second time. So we're lagging behind, and we've got this to fight for. And we love you so much, everybody. And tell us more about what's next for you and season 4.
And plus, Wendy and Karen, I'd also like to hear your backstory, because everyone has a backstory as to what led them to be in this space.
Sure. Wendy starts because she got into it a lot younger than me.
Well, I mean, I started smoking weed when I was 9, and then when I was 14, I became homeless essentially, and made money off selling cannabis. So there was that. But fast forward many years beyond being 14. Karen, I was in a show with Kelly Ripa as a business coach on Discovery Channel, and so my job was to help entrepreneurs get to home shopping. That was my deal, pitching. And so I did that, and then Karen, I had another friend who was also on a show, and the two of us, we were smoking a joint one night, and we said,
hey, what can we do a reality show about? And how about cannabis? And the marijuana show came to be in July 2014, and we really we came in with a concept. My background is marketing and advertising. I didn't really smoke pot at all until college, and I never was a heavy smoker. But I have a lot of friends that have kids with epilepsy that have had great success, kids with cancer. I'm not a mom myself, but I have a big heart, and I feel like it's important to legalize it.
You're birthing your shows.
What?
You're birthing your
yeah, we birthed
shows.
the shows. That's true.
That's true. Hey, we birthed the shows. We have a few fur babies too, and gay marriage. We're married, so hey, we're proponents of all that. Legalize everything.
Yeah, we've been together 15 years, going on 16 years. So yeah, that going. Yeah.
We've been called the lesbian godmothers of weed.
That's the advocates.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm not a mother either, but I think when you're not a mother, you have those nurturing tendencies. So we channel. One of the reasons I do what I do, and I communicate with over 400 prisoners, not all pot, but they're all my children, because I don't care whether it's gardening or what, we have all that energy in us that wants to nurture. So you're doing that with your show and your mission and everything. So
thank you.
Go ahead, keep sharing.
Well, season 4, to answer your question, Jeff, because we can't go into the studio right now, we're just going to do Facebook Live and Zoom and then edit it, and then have people also use high definition cameras, or I'll help them direct themselves into what we need for people, and then we'll put that on Amazon Prime.
Cheers.
Yeah. And right now we're actually distributing the final finale of season 3 to Amazon Prime. We've only put up 5 episodes, and the last part is who wins. So that'll be up this fall. And then to Wendy's point, season 4, it's just taking a little more time because everything's done,
That was a little spot that I pulled out. Is this a good segue? Would you like to play that 2-minute spot?
Sure, go for it.
Nugent, play the 2-minute weed
Great, would love to.
marijuana show.
Sure.
How big is pot? High time it has its own Shark Tank show.
I knew this show was coming.
There was some nights where I slept in our office because, I didn't have the gas money to drive home. What it would mean if I got an investment, my company would finally be able to build a platform that the industry needs.
Come on out, Chris. Have a seat and join us.
So what are you thinking that you'd want to offer him? He was asking for 1.5 million, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to offer you 1.5 million for 10%.
So he's 23 years old. He's working with a friend he's known since he was 13 years old. And he just became a marijuana millionaire.
It was super exciting, going to the marijuana show and meeting everybody, and the 1.5 million is definitely going to take us far. It's, we're super excited. Not only am I excited, but all my entire team's excited. So we're looking to expand, and Wendy and Karen have done a great job helping us reach that goal.
It's like a roller coaster.
Also, I have to point out, African American, entrepreneur who made 1.5 million on a reality show. It's very, and also to be in the cannabis industry, he's going up against such odds because mostly black and brown people are pulled over and put in jail for a plant. So it's a nice turnaround for our industry.
I'd love to ask a question. So, because with Shark Tank, you're buying a percentage, usually equity in a business. And frankly, there's not that many investments on Shark Tank where the person gets 1.5. So what did, when they offered 1.5, what were they getting? Like what, explain the format a little bit. Is it similar in that regard to equity in the business, or are they partnering, or how does that work?
Yeah, the investor invests and it negotiates the deal with the entrepreneur. And so because we're not, according to the SEC, we're not broker dealers, we cannot get involved in that.
We're television producers.
So
we get to have all the fanfare and help the entrepreneurs. But at the end of the day, it's their win, it's their deal.
It's their negotiation.
The thing with Shark Tank is a lot of the deals I think are held by NBC. Is that still the network it's on?
I have no idea.
But anyway, it's a network deal basically.
CNBC, yeah.
NBC. Right. In this case, it's real entrepreneurs, real investors connecting. We get a little piece in the back end for marketing and stuff like that.
Sometimes. So it depends. Again, according to SEC rules, we can't accept money, so we don't.
Well, we don't claim marijuana heals either. We just give testimonies. We just give testimonies to everybody.
Yeah. No, I mean, those are the rules, so we stick with the rules. I'm not interested in going to prison over breaking a rule, sort of like you, oh my God, I just want to be happy.
What's interesting though is no matter how much our show gets, viewed, we've had millions and millions of people view the show, or Facebook, we have 105,000 people there. You can't boost or you can't advertise still because it's federally illegal. So, and that's my background is advertising. So I really got to learn how squelched our industry is from being able to really thrive. And despite all that, our industry is thriving because everyone needs to heal right now during this coronavirus.
Well, we became essential. I mean, that's interesting, from completely illegal to essential businesses. So that's, yay, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Cory Booker, to segue from what you said earlier about Kamala Harris, he was the first one to put a legalization bill on the books. And I don't know if she joined that or if she did her own. She may have joined Cory's, but we've evolved, and it's time for our leaders who actually are responsible. Many of the leaders are still in DC that led to a lot of people who are currently serving life for pot. Got a little bit of good news. Michael Peltier, we of course we're advocating his clemency, but we also assisted him with filing for compassionate release. And he is a paraplegic. He became a paraplegic at the age of 11 and later realized back in the 70s, before we had all the science and information that we have now, that it was better for him than the opioids. So he lived just below the Canadian border and started bringing bud, BC bud, shared it with a few of his friends, and everyone was like, oh, this is so much better than the skunk weed. So obviously over time it evolved, and here he is, a paraplegic, couldn't work. He did do a few things. He could repair Bulova watches, but he started importing it, and now he has already served 13 years on a life sentence as a paraplegic. What kind of country does this to people? So we just found out that the government has conceded in his compassionate release that he does have legitimate reasons. He's a diabetic now, and all the complications with being a paraplegic. So you guys are doing a wonderful thing. Would love to even know more about your show and find out how people, I know you're pitching ideas for a product mostly, but I think that there's a wonderful opportunity for people like Chris Martin to get their story out through your show as to the awful things that prohibition has done to the cannabis community. Thank you so much.
our team
Thank you
keep.
for what you're doing.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate what you're doing, and we are honored to be on the show. We apologize because we have to go. We didn't ask how long.
We actually can't stay beyond another 2 minutes or so, but again, really appreciate how to watch the show is the marijuanashow.com. Go to our website. It links you to the Amazon Prime show. But to find Legalize It, I might have put it on our Facebook page. If not, Jeff and Amy and Amberly, I'll send you guys a link so you can watch it.
I've seen it.
And I'll send.
I didn't know you two were behind it, but I was in Amsterdam, and they did a screening.
Yeah, Chris Conrad was going to come on today and talk about Amsterdam and the demise and the rise. So we love you, ladies. Thank you so much for all you do. Look for an email from me. I'll send you a release form so we can start to get all of our papers in line for publication. And
Amber, do you want to say something before?
Yes, Wendy and Karen. It's such a small world in the cannabis community because I just sent you an email on accident about going on another cannabis show, and Chris and Andy Martin are my mentors, and like I watched their son go on your show, so it's just a crazy small world. I just wanted to say hi.
Hi. We look forward to hearing your story as well. We apologize. It was our bad not asking along. And there's
just watch it later.
We'll have you back on, ladies. We'll have you back on. We'll get updates. We'll rotate everybody in. We want to have a weekend where I'm going to produce a weekend with cannabis music, and you guys can be involved with this, and with all of the freed prisoners. We're going to have a reunion weekend, and we'll have talks. We'll have this. We'll have that. But I want to collaborate with you folks. So look out for me. Stay close, and thank you so much for joining us. Say Hemp Hemp Hooray.
Thank you.
And this is our new weed sign. This is our new weed sign. It means weed. And we go 3, 2, 1. We go peace, and we go F Schedule 1.
There you go.
That's good, but be careful because this is also white supremacy.
Yes.
There's that.
Yeah, but you know what? We're turning water into wine. Water into wine, baby.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you.
for having us.
Okay, it was great. It was a blessing. Okay, we'll see you next time.
All right. I'd love to bring Amber on. Amber's going to be speaking at an event in Colorado, and she's on board to help end mass incarceration and has her own personal story. I know you've been on the show already and shared that, but for people who didn't see that show, give us just a little background and then explain what you're working on and what you're going to do in case people want to come to this event in Colorado.
My name is Amberly Taylor. I have a page called Taylor's Voice where I bring light to a lot of social injustices, and my roots of activism is ending mass incarceration. That started with my dad, who got a 20-year sentence for marijuana, and he did 11 years on that sentence before we were able to get him a compassionate release last October, and that was with the help of so many people that were already mentioned: Chris and Andy Martin, Stephanie Landa, Adelia Fox, like just the whole cannabis community came out to help get my dad free. Christian Floor, Mindy Hall. It was like a whole team of people that lobbied to get my dad free. It was pretty dope. And that's how my activism began, was just trying to find people who would help me help my dad. And then once I got my dad free, it was like, who else can I help? And it just started rolling from there. On Sunday, I will join an Atlanta activist. She is coming to join me at a rally, and we're going to speak about mass incarceration. She runs the FAIR organization. Her name is Danita Bishop. She's pretty dope. She helps prisoners all over the United States file motions for compassionate releases, find judges that will listen. She finds lawyers that will listen. She's a really cool lady. We are both going to be speaking there along with my 11-year-old son. He's pretty dope too. He's turned into a little activist. But another thing that shows how small the cannabis community is I just met Janet. I am leading the Denver Rally Justice Ring the Bell service. I'm the organizer along with this super dope lady. named Jasmine Sade here in Denver, Colorado. She runs the gourmet blended and bake cookie creations, and she is going to help me. She's going to help me get this event on and rolling. We are super honored to be a part of that event. It's going to be global. Freedom Grow is going to be a part of it. I've been hitting you, Amy, up for a couple of days to try to get on board with it. So we're going to try to make it happen here in Denver and ring the bell for justice. But while I have my platform here today, I wanted to speak directly to the cannabis community, because right now in our United States, we're kind of at a crossroads where the social injustices that have been happening that were swept under the rug are now at the light. And I want to remind the cannabis community that people of color are convicted almost 3 times more than anybody else in the United States, and that includes marijuana offenses. And poor people, alongside people of color, are convicted at a higher rate of almost 10 times more than people who have adequate fundings for proper defenses. And now it's time for the cannabis community to stand with those pot prisoners and to stand with the activists who are trying to get them out and help us. It takes money to get people free, and I lobby every day to dispensaries and I get turned down every single day. And I want to make this statement to the cannabis community that it's not okay that we can go in a dispensary and buy weed while other people are sitting in jail for the same thing. I want us to all stand together and get all of the pot prisoners free. I want to get Michael Thompson free, Corbin Cooper free, Lance Floor free, Douglas Patton free. Those are just a few inmates, because there's currently 62,000 inmates sitting for low-level nonviolent drug offenses in America right now as we're speaking. And that's my main goal.
You rock, you rock, you rock, Amber.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Amber. I would like to chime in. We'll probably play it next week. And Jeff, I don't know if you know, but Stephanie has asked for me to co-host next week because she is going to be busy. Her son is moving there. And so next week we'll probably play the video of Pharrell Scott that the Bernie Sanders camp put together. It's wonderful. And we will also have Corbin Cooper's mom and Anthony, who runs his Facebook page, on. I was in a documentary with Barbara Cooper. It was supposed to air this last April 20th on TV, and it's a wonderful documentary about Corbin. He suffered the 3 strikes law. And what's compelling about Corbin, we'll share more about that next week, is that when California legalized, all your prior convictions were supposed to be expunged. Well, the feds sentenced Corbin to life based on 3 strikes. 2 of them were like possession in California. So he no longer has 3 strikes, so his life sentence should not stand. But the Supreme Court did not take this case. So it's insane because it's factual, legal evidence on its face that there are no 3 strikes anymore, and yet he's sitting in prison for life based on 2 priors for petty priors for cannabis. And I really want people to understand. We've got so many people. Craig Cecil is out on home confinement. He was serving life for nearly repairing some trucks that shipped cannabis. But Amber, you're doing such a wonderful thing. You want to share with everybody where the event in Denver will be that's coming up so that they can come and attend if they want to?
Right now we have it scheduled as a caravan event. So everybody's going to make their signs, follow us. We're going to ride down by Denver Civic Center and go all the way down to the Aurora Municipal Building is what our plans are so far. But I have to say this, that there has been a lot of deterrence for protests right now. So me and Jasmine are exploring another option. If you check out my page, Amberly R. Taylor, or Google Taylor's Voice INCC, there will be updates daily about the event. So please look out for those.
That's important.
It's going to be a service of ringing the bell. We're all going to collectively ring our bell and show our signs for support of our incarcerated loved ones and for the support of ending mass incarceration.
Okay, well, let's be clear that that's two different events. One is on August 22nd.
Yes, that's the ringing of the bell. Right. And this Sunday is an event in Pueblo, Colorado, where me and Demetria Bishop will be speaking about ending mass incarceration at a rally that they're having in Pueblo, Colorado. If y'all want to come out, come to downtown Pueblo from 12 to 3 p.m. and come and support us. And we will be live streaming it on the event. It's 1400 Miles for Justice event on Facebook, so you can watch it if you can attend.
And you know about the cannabis teachings that they do at Pueblo State University?
Yes, sir, I do. I am a Metro student, law here in Denver, and I am very interested in that program. I have been checking it out. Yes, sir.
Didn't they do the ICR event a couple of years in a row? I flew into Denver and drove down to Pueblo, and they had this incredible. It's where I met Dr. Machula.
Oh no, but I'm definitely going to investigate that now to see if I can go check it out. Yeah.
I have a photo of me and Dr. Machulam together. I waited 3 hours in line to freaking touch that guy and to shake his freaking hand. And he said, he said, anytime you want to come to Israel to do an interview on me, you're there. But now we have Zoom chat, and I don't have to fly.
Yeah.
I don't have to fly, and I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him on Weed Wednesday.
If you come to the 420 Festival next year, Freedom Grow Forever will be hosting a booth, and we're going to try to get as many activists together as we can to do a little get-together for Freedom Grow, so we would love to have you out there.
And do you know the lady in Denver that is she does the Cannabis Film Festival?
No, sir, I don't, but I do know Miguel Miggy. If you are going to do a cannabis film festival, you got to get some of his cannabis films on there. He is like one of the best activists. He helped get my dad free as well. He's wrote many articles on him. He's one of my mentors.
Miggy's my buddy. Miggy's my buddy.
Oh, okay. See,
Miggy's my buddy. Miggy's my buddy. Yeah.
It's a small world. Yeah. These are my people. Like, they have been my people for the last 10 years. Tracy Glore is like my honorary mama. She's Mama G to me. Like, these are my people.
Any final words, Amberly, or do you have something to say, Amy?
Yeah, I don't know, Amber, if you ever were able to watch the documentary that I did. It's called 420, the documentary. It's on many video on demand platforms. It's on Amazon, but I went and filmed 420 events before it became legal, and I wanted to show how are all these kids at Boulder, because they were kind of the beginning. So we interviewed a lot of the students, and we showed those 420 events, and I connected with Miguel, and I got to be backstage two different 420s in a row, and I filmed with a crowd at the Denver 420 event.
Wow.
Yeah, and put that in the documentary. And then I would cut to a rave where it would show all these kids, celebrating openly. You've got almost 100,000 people, all in smoking. And then we would show a college student who literally got shot in the chest. He lived, but he was a college student. And then we interviewed a lot of law enforcement people who have remorse now, who talked about how they kicked open the door in a dorm or somewhere because they just smelled marijuana. And
yeah.
So it won Best Documentary Feature at the Santa Monica Film Festival.
I have not seen that. Please send me the link. Yes.
Well, and Miguel has he has a part in there, and
he's so dope.
Yeah. And we honor all of the people. He's a legend and has done so much to free the weed, but we obviously still have more work to do. And thank you, Jeff, for creating a platform so all of the freedom fighters can come on and share this important information.
Well, we need our limelight, and with my album project, everybody, with Sensi Magazine, it's public now. 420, we dropped my album project, and we have some highfalutin artists on there. We're going to try to raise $30,000 with the proceeds from that. If the marijuana show people don't give it to us, we're going to try to raise our wink, wink. We totally are going to try to raise money with a nonprofit that Sensi is setting up for the proceeds from the album and the tour to go to $30,000 in a trust fund for every prisoner that's coming home or that has come home, because they come home to nothing, folks. And this is global. Yeah. We want to have re-entry more gentle and to say we're sorry, because the governments won't do that. 1937 is when the first prisoner was put away, and and it's still absurd. It's still mind-blowing, and nobody should die in jail. All these elders are in jail now, older than me, and I'm not that young anymore. But the bottom line is that our energy, while we have it, it's great to be here with you ladies that are proof that a little bit of our inching is working.
Thank you so much. We've had another wonderful Weed Wednesday.
And what about Janet? Janet, are you still with us? Janet is muted. Hang on, let's see.
Janet, if you can hear us, unmute so we can just do a final.
Are you still with us, Janet?
Yes,
I'm here.
Hey, Janet.
Hey, Janet. Hey, it's nice to meet you. Hey.
Janet, give us a little bit of a wrap up of what you're doing, what your main course is that you're going to serve the planet for our marijuana restaurant, and how you're going to help end prohibition.
We're having the National Day of Freedom and Justice, and this is to bring light to the injustices of people being wrongly convicted or imprisoned over a natural plant. We're also bringing light to a lot of other injustices within the system, and we have a Facebook page, National Day of Freedom and Justice, as well as a website, freedomandjustice.info. If you want to get more information, we invite everyone to join us on this National Day.
We're so good. And what is the site again that they can go to help you?
National Day of Freedom and Justice on Facebook page, or freedomandjustice.info.
Okay, fantastic. We're super proud of you. Any final words to everybody about the hope and about where you're at right now in your own world?
Well, right now things are pretty good, and so my biggest thing is I want to just invite everyone to attend this event. It's so very important. It's election year, it's voting season right now. The time is prime, and we need to utilize this to our advantage.
Right. And I'd like to add that if people can't go to a rally or get out, you can still ring your bell and home. And you know what, Janet, it seems like we should encourage everybody, they're called thunderclaps. So at the time of the ringing of the bell, everybody should post a video of themselves or a picture on social media, so that social media lights up like crazy with the ringing of the bell.
If everybody sends, if I get less than 100 but more than 50, I'll do a cut and I'll put one together. I'll put a whole video together from the post of production of your freedom walk, Janet. That'd be great. Thank you, Janet. We love you so much. And Amy, and Amberly, any final words for us?
Check out Taylor's Voice, INCC, on Facebook or Twitter to get updates about the rally on Sunday in Pueblo, Colorado, and also the rally happening in Denver on the 22nd for the Ring Your Bell for Justice. Thank you so much for having me.
And don't forget, Janet and Amberly, send me on chat or however you find me your email so I can send you a release form.
I just sent it in the messenger.
Oh, great. Okay, great. Okay, fantastic. And Ms. Povah, any final words and encouragement to the pandemic we call prohibition?
We're not going to quit or give up until every single top prisoner is home. Period. End of story. And we encourage everybody to get on board, reach out to us. You can go to candoclemency.com, but there's any number of us have platforms. If you want to get involved, we have a pen pal program. We call it Guardian Angels. We'll pair you with people that you can write. You can give money to Freedom Grow, and they'll put it directly on the commissary books for pot prisoners because it's expensive, believe it or not, to be in prison.
Freedom Grow Forever. Freedom Grow
Forever.
Yes.
Yes. Freedom Grow Forever. But you can we have a change.org petition. It's on our website, and I think it's also on Freedom Grow Forever's website now to free all pot prisoners. We really need to get more signatures on that, but just get involved. If you don't have time, everybody's busy, you can sign and share a change.org petition. You can also just post or share our post on Facebook. I'm Amy Can Do. I got a little picture of myself as Rosie the Riveter. And I put stuff up all the time. There's a big article came out about Jimmy Romans today. And I put it on my page, and people can share that. Share things. It's 2 clicks. It only takes 30 seconds. And chime in and support these folks.
I'm so blessed to have you as my co-host, Amy, and Stephanie Landa, and Amberly. It's always good to see you. I'm glad that you're taking care of Colorado and your side of the medicine. Janet, thank you for chiming in, for doing what you're doing, the Freedom Parade. I'm so looking forward to all of this, working. I mean, for gosh sakes, look. We have the Declaration of Independence on hemp, everybody. Why don't we make hemp toilet paper in America? That's $1 billion idea. And maybe that's my Shark Tank idea. Hemp toilet paper, $1.5 million, please. So thank you, the marijuana show ladies. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amberly, and thank you, Janet. Take us out, Nugent. We're so happy, and we'll see you next week. Hemp Parade.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Hemp Parade, everybody. Okay. Welcome to Weed Wednesdays, produced by International Broadcast Media, better known as IBM.TV. I'm your host, Jeff Eichen, human rights advocate and social activist fighting for government deregulation of weed and the release of all nonviolent criminals incarcerated for possession of marijuana, moving violations, parking tickets, IRS debt, etc. Here on WEEDsday, we keep the public informed about all things weed related, including festivals and legislation surrounding regulating the growth of hemp. Today, my guests are
There's something happening